What's up, everybody? Man back here again, and welcome back to the Nacho Mama's Fantasy Football League Volume 4. Let's get into these rankings. Should we, shall we? Let's size.
Size.
Okay, welcome back to the program. Here we go. We're going to get right into this here, the rankings. 12th place team is Fancy Lads. Boo. Okay, 10 consecutive losses. He's playing people that are downgraded to out, and he's out of the playoffs. So we appreciate your patronage, Witto. We're going to move on to the next team, and that is the 11th place team. Ha! Zoe Sideveda, the 11th place team with a 4-8 record, staying at the 11th place slot. Darren got the victory against the Limp Biscuits, which is fabulous. But this was his inaugural season. I think he's done admirably well, and I'm sure he's looking forward to coming back next year and with a little bit more experience under his belt, having a better shot at the crown. We're going to move on to the 10th place team. The 10th place team in these here rankings is the Bong Herbologists. Hey, that's right, the Bong Herbologists staying at the 10th place slot. There's a couple teams, about 4 teams that are 5 and 7. This is one of them. These are my notes here for Andrew's team. On the outside looking in like a small homeless child, born from the streets, bustling Christmas time New York Manhattan stereotype. They are viewing happy families playing with all the latest toys, and they know full well that they will not be gifted such a wonderful treat this holiday season. I wrote that. I put that down there. I went further. I said, although he spends many an hour outside of FEO Schwartz, he's never been inside. I wrote that down as well. When you hitch your ride to Dalvin Cook, you're either going to win it all or lose it all. It's one of those years. Moving right along to the 9th place team. 9th place team in these year rankings is, same as last week, it's Grand Salami time. That's right. It's Katie's team. I've continued to say she's had one of the most challenging seasons. Her opponents are really been scoring a lot of points. The average point margin or the average point total for her opponents is 120. 120 points per game. That's tough. Even when you have Nick Chubb, Aaron Rodgers, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, and George Kittle and Gronkowski, I feel like none of these guys have really played together at their best. Aaron was out for a little bit. Nick was out for some. All these guys have been out or underperforming at different times. So, we move on. The 8th place team in these here rankings is the Chateau St Barts Winery. That's right. Had a great battle with Allen this week. Put about 120 points, and usually that can do something. Jonathan Taylor, Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr, and even Odell got me 17 points. Can you believe it? Odell. Wow. But when Jalen Waddle, Elijah Mitchell, and Josh Allen combined for about 77 points, not only that, Allen outscored the field this week. He scored more points than anyone with his 131 points, which is crazy. But it happened, so we're going to go ahead and just keep this moving. Yes, my season is over as a player, but as a commissioner, benevolent one at that, I will continue to provide you with this content that is worthy of Patreon. Next, we have the 7th place team. 7th place team is Pimp. It's Big T, the biggest of T's. Woo! That's right, Tanner. My notes for Tanner are, poor Tanner man. 70 waiver transactions and still can't figure it out. I put that. Honestly, though, this team is extraordinarily good. I'm surprised that it's not accumulating more wins. He has 3 three top 10 running backs in Zeke, DeAndre Swift, and Cordell Patterson. What else? 2 top 10 receivers in Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. 2 top 10 tight ends in Zach Ertz and Darren Waller. He's got a top 10 kicker. 2 top 10 quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts and Kissing Cousins. Crazy, scary, good players that are not going to have to be worried about in the fantasy playoffs. Isn't that something? So we're going to go ahead and well done, Tanner. Well done to you. Any 5-17, you're not like totally out of it, but you're pretty much out of it at this point. You're going to have to win out, and some of the top teams are going to have to lose out. What are the odds of that happening? Could happen. Could happen. Be surprised. Be fun to see. Next, we're going to move on to the 6th place team. The 6th place team in these here rankings is Team Robs. He's 6-6, picking up 6. This guy plays Taylor Heineke unironically. This guy, I don't even know what to say. Kind of speechless. He's still here, like I said, I'm speechless. I don't really have too many notes other than somehow I think he might make the playoffs just because he just keeps staying somehow relevant, even though he's one of the lowest overall point outputting teams of the year. He's 6-6. He's 2 games back from a playoff spot. So anything can happen. We got 3 games left, I believe. So that's that. Move on to the 5th place team, and the 5th place team is Master Cook. Master. That's right. Scored the most points this week. Defeated the Winery. He's averaging about 115 points a week-ish, something like that. And, he's doing what he's supposed to do. At this point of the year, he's doing what he's supposed to do with guys like Josh Allen and some other good players. He's positioned himself. He's in 5th place. He needs some things to happen. He still has a shot to be that dark horse candidate to steal one of the playoff slots from the next 4 teams that I'll be mentioning. My notes include that his possibilities are not endless, but his fire to win the championship, to get in the playoffs, get in the postseason begins now. Allen is already in the playoffs in my mind. It just beguns now. He's got to defeat Grand Salami time. Okay. Then he takes on Ben's Under the Steps Boogeyman. All right. And then he finishes the year against Team Robs. I think he can do it. I think he can figure that out. He wins all 3 of those. He's going to be in a position to maybe do something. We're going to move on to the top 4 teams. All 4 of these teams are in the playoffs, in my mind. Start with the 4th place team, and that is, I'm about to break, Limp Biscuits, right? It's Michael's team. Michael, of all these top-ranked teams, he averages the lowest point total per week. Christian McCaffrey has already missed 5 games this season, and they just put him back on IR for an unknowable amount of time, most likely a season-ending situation. So, without Christian McCaffrey, the stock of this team plummets from my vantage. Doesn't mean that he's not capable. Still got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Justin Tucker, Josh Jacobs. He's got great players, but will it be enough without the Christian McCaffrey? Only time will tell. Moving on to the 3rd place team. It's Pimp. It's Kicking It with Younghoe. That's right. Samuel's team is in 3rd place. We had a battle of the bests with Samuel going against Corey's team. Corey got the victory, so Samuel goes down some spots. But let's be clear. Tom Brady, Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams, that is a winning trio of fantasy production. He also has the best kicker in fantasy with Nick Folk. So, I mentioned that Samuel is going to have a rough time the last stretch of the season, and my notes here include he's going to wine country this weekend, so that'll be an easy win. Have a nice glass of Chablis, perhaps, or maybe a Syrah, or maybe a Zinfandel. How about a Zinfandel? You ever have a Zinfandel? Or a Merlot. Maybe a Merlot. What else? What other? A Cabernet. How about a Cabernet Sauvignon? How about that? That's all I know. He will then follow that up with Grand Salami time and then end the season against Ben's Under the Steps Boogeyman. I think it's very capable for him to win 2, if not 3 of those matchups. So Samuel's already looking forward into the fantasy postseason, so we might as well move on to the second place team. Second place team in this year's rankings is Under the Steps Boogeyman. Nah, that's right, it's Ben's team. Ben won. Took out the Fancy Lads, which is not an impressive thing, but a win's a win. And Debo Samuel is crazy good. Tyrod Taylor got 20 points. You know? I don't think that 92 or 93 points is going to cut it when we get into the postseason. Maybe I'm wrong. You never know. But at this point, he's ready for some playoff action. And he's set to take a shot at the crown. Najee Harris, Debo Samuel. Will that be enough to take out some of these other high marquee teams? It's going to get interesting. And of course, the number one team. The number one team is back, baby. He's back on the top. And that's Team Diaper Funds. It's Corey's team. It's Corey's mother-loving team. There was a time when he was at the top. The diapers were fully funded. We had divested the cryptocurrency, the mutual funds, the real estate properties, the long-term rentals, the short-term rentals, the VRBOs. We had diversified the portfolio as such where maybe he didn't need to be as well funded. But it's all in his diaper now. His diaper is bulging with only God knows. And this is a guy who traded away Darren Waller. This is a guy that lost Derrick Henry and I believe also Chase Edmonds. This guy that traded away Adam Thielen. How is he still at the top? Well, he is. Averaging 125, almost 126 points per game is better than anybody. Essentially Corey and Ben have locked themselves into the fantasy postseason. And, barring any crazy injury or just plummeting into the bowels of hell, ready to defend his fantasy crown against the best of them. Ain't that right? I'm sure he's a little nervous, a little worried. He's lost some pieces, but he's got the juice. He's got the juice. So that's it. That's all we got. If you're in the top, I'd say 6, you're still in the running for something. I've mentioned this in the past. The winner this year will be receiving $720 cash money via an app. Okay? He who wins will have the choice if he would like to bestow second place with something. It's up to you. Do you have the Christmas spirit or not? Would you like to be selfish and greedy? Keep it for yourself. I know I would. But would you like to also be benevolent during this downtrodden socioeconomic turn of events such as we are living in presently? It is to be determined. The champion decides. The champion. Which we do not know who will be the champion. We will find out soon enough. So again, Master Cook led the league this week with 131 points. It was actually the lowest total points to make that, to get that little award or reward or something. Who cares? So that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in this week, next week, and last week, and maybe a couple weeks from now as well. And hey, have a good day.